This embrace between Mabobe and her mother feels like it can wash away all the hardship and pain. Mabobe sits on the rug, slicing tomatoes. Feeling the cool breeze from the river, she gets busy preparing lunch. Yesterday, she bathed her son and spent some time plastering the wall. She worked until the sun went down. But her mother still hasn't arrived, and she's getting anxious, knowing she could go into labor at any moment. She whispers to her son about his grandmother. It's not just because she desperately needs her mother's help. It's also because she needs someone to open up to share her deepest worries. Murad is still just a baby, not even walking yet, and here she is, about to have another child. Her situation is incredibly challenging. Mabobe not only has to cook for herself, but also build their shelter and care for her child. She handles countless chores. All of this leaves her physically and mentally exhausted. Her children are her motivation and support. They are the only reason she's able to keep going. The tomatoes sizzle in the pan. She stirs them with a small spoon until they break down into a soft paste. These ingredients were bought by the film crew because her own food supply had nearly run out. She pauses from her cooking. Then she heads back into the tent to grab 2 eggs. These eggs will provide some much-needed nutrition for Mabobe and Murad. But Mabobe doesn't dare to eat much. She has to be frugal and cannot afford to waste a single bit of food. As the tomato sauce thickens, Mabobe pours in the whisked eggs. She carefully flips the omelette, making sure it cooks evenly on both sides. The heat from the pan quickly sets the eggs, forming a delicious tomato omelette. Mabobe holds her son, getting ready to wash his little face and hands. This little boy is so well behaved, it breaks your heart. The tomato and egg dish is ready. Mother and son can now share a simple meal together. Murad stares at the food in the pan. His mother tells him not to touch it, that the pan is very hot and he'll get burned. Mabobe gently tears off a small piece of egg and feeds it to Murad. A child is always a mother's treasure. At every meal, Mabobe always gives the first bite to her son. She places the food on a piece of flatbread for Murad to eat by himself. She needs to teach him to be independent, to learn to eat on his own. Murad calls out, "Mama." Not a single scrap of food is wasted. The two of them clean their plates. This food was hard to come by. It must be used wisely. Mabobe doesn't ask for much. She just hopes for enough nutrition and energy to survive. After eating, Mabobe washes their few dishes. Even living in a region with scarce water, the nomads value cleanliness. Their plates are washed until they are spotless. You can hardly see a single speck of grease. She carries the pot into the tent and finds that Murad has already fallen asleep on his own. She sets her things down and moves him onto his small sleeping mat. For the local nomads, they can go a day without food, but they cannot go a day without tea. For them, tea is a part of life. It's an essential beverage in their daily routine. Murad calls for his mom. Mabobe pours the tea into a small saucer, then dips a sugar cube into it. Then she puts it in her mouth. She savors the sweetness of the sugar blended with the tea, feeling the rich aroma of the black tea. Mabobe has a particular ritual for drinking her tea. For the nomads, tea isn't just to quench thirst. It's an experience, a way of life. Whether they're traveling or at home, they love to brew a cup of tea and savor its flavor. Tea helps keep them alert and is also considered a type of herbal medicine. It's believed to be very beneficial for their health. After her tea, she grabs a basin to wash her son's dirty clothes. She walks to the riverbank and finds a clear pool of water. It's a perfect spot for laundry, and the water is very clean. She gets up and brings over a hollow brick to set the clean clothes on. She scrubs her son's clothes vigorously in the basin, trying to wash out every bit of dirt and grime. The few items of clothing are clean in no time. She hangs them on the fence of the sheep pen, where a gentle breeze is always blowing from the river. They'll dry quickly. She returns to the river's edge. She carefully fills the basin with water, ready to continue the plastering work from yesterday. Plastering the wall takes time, and she can only manage to do a little bit each day. Seeing the big yellow dog sleeping by the door, Mabobe remembers she hasn't fed him yet today. So she heads back to the tent to prepare some food for her dogs. Now with a new puppy, there are 3 of them, which means more mouths to feed. Mabobe takes out the flatbread she bought a few days ago. She tears it into small pieces for her loyal companions. Mabobe begins mixing the cement mortar. She adds some water to the iron basin, getting ready to mix it with the cement powder. Her movements are slow but rhythmic. She applies the plaster to the wall with her bare hands, bit by bit. On days when there's no one to help, she has to rely completely on herself. The wind from the river picks up again. She needs to finish this shelter quickly to prepare for the baby's arrival. After working for a while, Mabobe starts to feel tired. She decides to take a short break. Heavily pregnant, her movements have become much slower. After washing her hands, she returns to the tent. Murad is now awake. The tent has become dilapidated, worn down by the relentless wind. There's a large tear in the fabric. Mabobe takes out her needle and thread and begins to stitch the tent back together. Until the shelter is finished, this tent is their only home. Just then, a kind voice calls out. A nomad woman is shouting, "Where is my daughter?" Hearing the voice, Mabobe gets up. It sounds like her mother, but then she reconsiders. There's no way her mother could have gotten here so quickly. So she sits back down and focuses on mending her tent. The voice calls out again. This time, Mabobe is certain it's her mother's voice. She quickly gets up to see if her mother has really found her. She picks up her son and follows the sound. Not far away, an old woman is carrying a cradle on her back, calling out as she walks toward them. The mother Mabobe had been waiting for has finally arrived. She and her mother share a tight embrace. This moment of warmth and closeness brings her an incredible sense of relief and joy. Her mother immediately starts asking, "Where is your husband? Where is his family?" She gently scolds her daughter for not coming to her sooner. What on earth happened? Her mother is both heartbroken for her daughter and a little bit angry. Mabobe helps her mother take the cradle off her back. After reading the letter, her mother knew Mabobe was about to give birth. So she had prepared the cradle and brought it along with her. She even thoughtfully packed socks and clothes for her grandson Murad. A parent's love truly knows no limits. A mother's love for her child is always the most sincere and selfless. Even if the whole world abandons her, her mother will always be on Mabobe's side. Her mother says that as soon as she got the letter from the shepherd, she rushed over. She even brought new clothes for the baby in Mabobe's belly. Her mother asks again about Mabobe's husband and his family. Mabobe tells her mother, "I'm so alone. My husband left me, and my cruel mother-in-law threw me out." Her mother comforts Mabobe, telling her not to be afraid. She also condemns Mabobe's in-laws, saying with fury, "What cruel bastards!" Mabobe tells her mother that her due date is in about 20 days. Her mother's arrival gives Mabobe a sense of security. Her mom is the only person she can rely on. With her by her side, she can bravely face the challenges ahead. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Suddenly, the pregnant Mabobe clutches her stomach in pain. Could she be going into labor just one day after her mother arrived? Let's keep watching. Her mother's presence brings Mabobe a sense of calm. Last night, the three of them squeezed into this tiny tent to sleep. Now, Mabobe asks her mother to tidy up the blankets while she goes to fetch water. However, her mother stops her, insisting that Mabobe feed the goat while she gets the water instead. Her mother knows that carrying heavy buckets of water is too much for her daughter, who is so close to giving birth. She can't bear to see her daughter strain herself like that. Mabobe brings some dry grass for the goat to eat. Then she takes a basin to the river and fills it with fresh water for the goat pen. Meanwhile, Murad sits inside the tent, rubbing his eyes and waiting. Mabobe is about to light the fire when she sees her mother walking back with the buckets of water. The wind is still blowing gently from the river. Suddenly, Mabobe stands up and cries out, "Mom, hurry! The baby's coming!" Her mother rushes towards her, praying aloud, "God, please protect my daughter." Her mom asks if she's sure the baby is coming now. Then, she helps Mabobe into the tent and starts packing their things to go to the hospital. By now, Mabobe is overwhelmed by the painful contractions. Her mother quickly pours her some water as she cries out in pain. It hurts so much. They hastily pack a few belongings. Her mother carries Murad and supports Mabobe as they rush to the hospital. After all, giving birth in these conditions is extremely dangerous. Her mother can't let her daughter take such a risk. As they walk, her mother comforts her, saying she asked a villager with a car to drive them to the hospital. The constant contractions make every step a struggle for Mabobe. But it's still a long walk to the main road. All she can do is keep pushing forward. Mabobe cries out, "Mom! Oh Mom!" They finally make it to the roadside. Thankfully, the film crew had already arranged for a car from a nearby villager. Now, Mabobe can get to the hospital quickly to deliver her baby. Mabobe carefully gets into the blue pickup truck. Seeing their urgent situation, the driver quickly speeds off. Fortunately, the place where Mabobe is staying is very close to the city. It's only about a 30-minute drive. When they arrive at the hospital entrance, the driver stops, and Mabobe and her mother get out and head inside. Once at the hospital, the situation was too critical. So this part of the footage is incomplete as the camera crew stepped in to help Mabobe. Her mother waits anxiously outside the delivery room, extremely worried about her daughter. She paces back and forth, praying silently for Mabobe's safe delivery. She hopes both her daughter and the baby will make it through this ordeal safely. Four hours later, Mabobe has a successful delivery, and her mother is allowed into the room. Mabobe lies down for a post-delivery checkup. Her mother asks a nurse for a blanket to cover her daughter. 2 hours later, Mabobe finally gets to meet her daughter. Because the baby was born 20 days premature, she has to be monitored in a special incubator. Mabobe takes her baby out of the incubator. This newborn little girl is meeting the world for the very first time. Her mother decides to head back for the night and will return in the morning. After all, there's a lot to take care of back at the tent, including their goat. And there's nowhere for Murad to sleep here at the hospital. Her mother tells Mabobe to take good care of herself and the baby. Then, with a heavy heart, she leaves with Murad. Her mother returns to the road by the nearby village. She gets out of the car and pays the driver. Seeing that her daughter delivered the baby safely, a huge weight is finally lifted from her shoulders. She holds Murad and slowly walks back to their camp. But she has another worry on her mind. Where will her daughter live after she gets out of the hospital? She needs to help her finish the house as soon as possible. Back at the camp, her mother quickly starts a fire. She needs to boil some water. Murad is hungry, and she has to make him a bottle. She takes out a bunch of grapes that Mabobe had bought earlier. She washes them and gives some to Murad to eat first. It will take a while for the water to boil, so the two of them have a small snack to regain some energy. Bifama has the hardworking and resilient spirit of a nomad woman. Her arrival was a tremendous help to her daughter. She came just in the nick of time. If she had been even one day later, Mabobe wouldn't have known how to handle going into labor so suddenly. The wind from the river is relentless, causing the flames to flicker wildly. Bifama finds some rocks to build a shield around the stove. This helps to concentrate the flame, so the water will boil faster. Once the water is hot, she pours some into Murad's bottle to prepare his formula. She also brews a pot of black tea for herself. The long day of running around has left Bifama completely drained. The wind has been blowing non-stop for days, and the unreinforced tent is far too dangerous. Bifama finds some hollow bricks and rope to properly secure the tent. After securing the tent, she goes inside to mix Murad's formula. The formula is already half gone, but thankfully Murad has started eating solid foods. He doesn't rely entirely on formula anymore, so he only needs a little bit. The little guy lies down and starts drinking from his bottle. He's a big brother now, with a new baby sister. A warm cup of black tea always brings a sense of comfort and relief. Bifama feels she needs a cup of tea to rest for just a moment. Today, she's felt a mix of panic, anxiety, and a little bit of joy, because her daughter has finally made it safely through the most difficult time. Building the shelter is more urgent than ever. After her tea, she quickly gets back to the construction work. Picking up where Mabobe left off, Bifama starts mixing cement and plastering the walls. This is the selfless devotion of a mother for her daughter. Bifama provides her with endless support and encouragement. A mother's love is one of the most beautiful forces in the world. The sun sets behind the distant mountains, and the sky begins to grow dark. Bifama works on expanding the goat pen. The goat's current living space is too small, which isn't good for its health. Night is about to fall again. Bifalma lights a fire. The warm, dancing flames provide them with a sense of security. She's worried about her daughter in the hospital and anxiously waits for morning so she can go see her again. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Mabobe and her baby, born nearly 20 days premature, are still in the hospital. The premature baby requires special care, and Mabobe can't be discharged from the hospital just yet. Bifalma is up early to feed their goat. She has a lot of hard work ahead of her today, but her biggest priority is getting the shelter built. Murad plays quietly by himself, even though his mom didn't come home from the hospital yesterday. He's been a very good boy. His grandmother is taking care of him, and he's being very obedient. Bifalma feeds the 3 dogs, then has a simple breakfast inside the tent. She had planned to go straight to the hospital, but she decides it's better to plaster the wall a bit more before she leaves. She wants to take advantage of the strong morning sun. The wall will dry much faster that way. She quickly mixes a basin of cement and starts spreading it evenly on the wall. She's in a hurry, but construction can't be finished in a day. Her strength and money are both limited. All she can do is try her absolute best to help her daughter. She goes into the tent and starts changing Murad's clothes. The little guy is very helpful, cooperating with his grandma as she dresses him. Once everything is ready, Bifalma changes her own clothes, picks up her grandson Murad, and starts heading into the city. She goes to the main road to flag down a ride to the city hospital. Since they are near a village and close to the city, there are plenty of cars passing by. A small black car pulls over. Bifalma successfully gets a ride and heads into the city. She gets out at a fruit stand near the hospital, planning to buy some fresh fruit for her daughter. Carrying the child, she goes into the fruit stand and picks out some of Mabobe's favorite fruits. It's a small, loving gesture. A mother always remembers what her daughter loves. Bifalma crosses the street and walks toward the hospital. She enters the hospital corridor. The hospital looks very clean. There aren't many patients, and only a few people are walking in the hallway. A moment later, she arrives at the room. A short while later, she makes it to Mabobe's hospital room. Mabobe seems to be doing quite well. She brings Murad over to his mother. In Iran, there is no tradition of a postpartum confinement period. As soon as a woman is able, she can get out of bed and walk around. Because Mabobe delivered nearly 20 days early, the baby is still being kept in a special unit. The grandmother wants to see her new granddaughter. Mabobe leads her mother to where the baby is being cared for. Because she was premature, the baby is very tiny. Before giving birth, Mabobe endured constant physical labor and hardship. These were all factors that contributed to the premature birth. Meanwhile, her mother-in-law, having heard about the birth, has been calling in an attempt to reconcile. After a short visit, the grandmother has to leave. Mabobe walks them to the door. Murad seems a little sad to leave his mom. Just then, Mabobe calls her mother back. She takes the ring off her finger and hands it to her, telling her to find a gold shop and sell it, so they can buy the materials they need to build the house. An old taxi driver with a white beard is waiting by the roadside for a passenger. Bifama gets into his taxi and heads to a gold shop. Bifama enters the gold shop, which is filled with all kinds of glittering jewelry displays. She takes out the ring and hands it to the owner, explaining that she wants to sell it. The owner begins to weigh it carefully. The owner uses a calculator to figure out the ring's value in rials. Iran has many gold mines. These abundant natural resources make the domestic price of gold in Iran much lower than in many other countries. Mabobe's ring sells for 11.5 million rials, which is around $270. This money will be used to build the shelter and to buy some daily necessities. Next, Bifama goes to a small shop on the street. She buys some rope and also gets a little toy from Murad. She then heads to a fresh produce stall on the street. She plans to buy some fruits and vegetables, as their food supply back at the camp is almost gone. She buys some of the cheapest potatoes and onions she can find. This money came from selling her daughter's ring, so she has to spend it very carefully. She wants to build a roof for the shelter. Bifama sees some metal roofing sheets for sale on the roadside. She considers buying some and asks the owner for the price. The owner tells her that a 4-meter sheet costs 1 million rials. Bifama buys 3 of the metal sheets. The total comes to 3 million rials, around $70. For them, that's not a cheap price. After paying, Bisama and the owner load the metal sheets onto the truck together. The price includes the delivery fee. The owner drives along the wide, open dirt road until he stops at the closest possible point to Mabobe's shelter. She carries Murad back to their camp first. Bisama plans to feed the goat and the dogs as soon as she gets back. She comes back for the metal sheets in a little bit. The goat is fed some hay and the dogs are hungry too. She takes out some flatbread and feeds the dogs who have been waiting patiently for their owner's return. Right after, Bisama returns to where the metal sheets were left and starts carrying them back one by one. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.